Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
We run the clock. Super 16 is the cream of the crop. College football time of year don't stop.
You're adding this guy.
Just another go dome with the courage, heart, skill, and will. Bringing you the best 16. Serving up a plate for the football fiends. Ranking the best 16 college teams. Football fans, it's the show of your dreams.
Ain't no bias. Chris Zorich breaking truth. Traded in the golden helmet in the past for a suit. With the tape, never lie. College ball, he's a stoop. Ranking the top 16, not the top 32.
I don't mean to cut you off like a Zorich jersey, but you ain't really grinding unless the jersey dirty. Hit the running back like a Mack truck behind the 30-yard line. It's game time. My team riding off the sideline.
You look at Chris like this with a fact checklist, going over college teams like a 50 scientist. He's streaking from his head like in his playing days. Super 16 polls on his show straight away.
It's the FBS, the best of the best from the ACC to the SEC. Pac-12, Big 10, Mountain West, Sun Belt, and the Big 12. Open your eyelids, who the best like Cali? Super 16 is the cream of the crop. College football time of year don't stop. With Christopher Zorich, just another go dome with the courage, heart, skill, and will. Bringing you the best 16. Serving up a plate for the football fiends. Breaking the best 16 college teams. Football fans, it's the show of your dreams.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 5 of the Super 16 Poll Show. I want to do a special thank you to the National Football Writers Association and also the National Football Foundation for allowing us to put this together. My love of college football and my sidekick's love of the Bears created this opportunity. Phil, would you like to jump in to talk about your... Oh, look at that photo. Isn't that cute? That was only taken a mere, what is it, like 8 months ago? 9 months ago?
Was it? It's crazy.
Time is flying, bro.
Time is flying by, bro. It's keeping it real.
Song?
There he is.
A good song? No?
The time is flying by.
It sounds like a song.
It does sound like a song.
See?
The times they are a-changing.
There you go.
Just not for the Bears.
I like that. Well, speaking about the Bears.
Speaking of the Bears. The Chicago Bears, Chris. Another. I don't know how to describe it. All I can think of is they need a little of this. They need a little of that.
You got the logo on. Oh, look at that. That's a great logo on the front of the bike. I love it.
They need you rolling up. Maybe the whole team needs a bike to roll up. Now, in all honesty, watching the game back again, there's so many fingers to point around. But at the end of the day, it should all fall merely on the head coach.
Sure.
And his team, just some of the decisions, the play calling and situational football. I know Shane brought a great stat up on BHL about a percentage of 4th and 2 and punting. Listen, certain things, I guess everybody's learning as they go. But like I said on the show, Chris, I don't give excuses for football lifetimes. Like everybody, this is the NFL. These coaches have coached their entire lives, if not multiple years.
Sure.
You got to go into New York and you can't make Daniel Jones look like Lamar Jackson running bootlegs and no one's there, no one's home, and missed tackles, drop balls. Your boy out of Notre Dame, he just doesn't look at. I call him Clunky Cole Komet.
Okay.
Clunky Cole. I just haven't seen it. Every time I think he's going to take a step, it goes back to looking like he's in, low tide, trying to run through the tide there. It's just he can't get out of there. And so much of this football team infuriates me because this is a winnable game.
Yeah. Yep.
And at
It
the
was.
and at the end of the day, you got a guy you signed 10 days or a day ago.
I was going to say, riddle me this: if that guy isn't there, do they score any points?
No, they don't. What if he misses some of those kicks?
Which
That's
he
another
probably
thing.
could do. I mean, he was kind of hanging out, so
He came in there and made, people recognize who he is. And I did. I think that was a very difficult situation to be placed in, and you went in there and
absolutely,
answered the bell. The
absolutely,
team didn't. The guy you picked up 10 days ago, I mean 1 day ago,
right.
did, right? It's like the culture and all of that stuff, all of it flies out the window if you can't hold everybody accountable. And the one thing now, I've had several fans reach out to me and say, well,
To pay for your
he's
therapy.
maybe, but they're like, well, he's not holding them account. He's not doing, and I'm there too. I get it. I go, the only thing I don't know is what is he might be saying one thing to the media,
Right.
another thing to them.
Which is
And
what
that's just
coaches do. I mean, you don't want to sit there and tell your give your game plan or express kind of negative issues
right.
outside, right? To
This
the
is the
media.
only thing I think though now. Like as I've grown older, I think it's very important to always be able to state the obvious.
Okay.
Because once you do that, like everybody and their brother knew Justin was terrible last week in last week's game, and the
Right.
Bears beat the Texans, right? So you owe it to everybody to be like, yeah, he's got to play. You don't have to bury the guy. He knows, I know as the coach,
Right.
he's got to play better. And you can't do it with just one area. You have to do it across the board. And don't treat fans like they don't know. Now, I would say 30% of them don't know. Let's trade David Montgomery after the Packers went out of their way to just stop him and they couldn't. Then that story changed.
Oh god.
But on opening day, they wanted to. That stuff I get. It's the obvious stuff I don't get. Like Velus Jones, got to catch the ball. Put your hand up, catch the ball, and you got an opportunity to win. I didn't like the call, Chris. I thought you go for it on fourth down.
Right.
Instead of punting, he ended up getting them pinned inside the 5-yard line, and then the Giants had to punt, so you got an opportunity. But lo and behold, in typical Bears fashion, the kid fumbles the punt, and that's the end.
Right.
So the opportunities are lost. And then it's the red zone stuff. The thing that's, and I'll say this because I'm consistently consistent.
Consistently consistent.
Consistently consistent.
Okay.
The tape tells me the truth.
Okay.
I've always doubted Sam Mustipher at center. And I praise him when he makes a good play, but consistently, he's not been good enough. That's never changed.
Right.
On Sunday, it was worse than it ever was. So that becomes a story. No, it's always been a story. You can't ignore these issues and think other teams aren't going to scout.
Right.
Like I'm scouting. Like they see it too. So where's the weakness? They're going to find it, exploit it.
Right.
And they did it perfectly to the Chicago Bears. And the last thing really that I think is most important, and this lies on the feet of the head coach. You're the head coach. This coach, more so than anyone else, which I respect the heck out of him for, he's giving the opportunity. He calls the defense. He calls the offense. I'm the CEO. I like that as a head coach, and you have input in it all. The shotgun use of formation and inconsistencies with the formations, to me, is so college-like. You're never going to – you have to get just – you can't go in the I formation and get 7 yards, then come out and empty set the next play on 2nd and 2 or 3, and then go back to the I, go this way, and the next way. You have to have some – the Giants beat you on misdirection. That's all they were doing. They were staying in similar formations, beating you with misdirection. That's the recipe you have to have, because every inch matters in football, but every inch completely matters with the Bears, because every play needs to be made in order for this offense to be successful, right? So that's why I felt like the coaches lost that game. As bad as some players performed, I felt like you're in the game. And looking, even watching it again, it was more infuriating, but I had to see it again because I just don't think Getsy he doesn't get it. How about that? Getsy don't get it.
Wow.
He doesn't get his personnel usage. There's no way Cole Kmet is the guy that you're throwing a bubble screen to on 3rd and 16. It's just, that's not proper personnel. Darnell Mooney, yes.
Right.
He could possibly break it.
Right.
Khalil Herbert, motion him out there, get him behind Cole Kmet. Yes, he might break it and get you a big first down. Cole Kmet, I would love to see the numbers after catch that he's ever made.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? So he ain't twitchy. He's not tough. Like, he's not fast. So I don't know what he's doing. And that basically, and then Chris, my father and I have this show, X's with the O's. You were on once with us. We want to have you come back. The linebackers, they do not read keys. It's just like they're just flowing out of there trying to be instinctive. So, like, tackle blocks down, this guy's stepping and going down, and the play's going outside you each time. It kept happening. They're not reading any kind of keys. If guard blocks down, the play's coming there in B gap. You got to get there. You can't be sliding to the right. They're all over the place. And again, I'll break it down on the tape, but really ultimately that's what I see with the Chicago Bears. They got completely out-coached, out-disciplined, out-hustled. There's a ball on the ground, Chris. And we got a rookie cornerback who's been getting torched. I mean, I can go through the whole thing, but the ball's on the ground and he's celebrating the hit without getting on the football. And you have a huge opportunity there to possibly win the game or tie it up. Nope. So I know they have a lot of things to do when it comes to this week. And again, I'm not like others that are going to say, well, this is a rebuilding year. Well, the Bears have been rebuilding since 85. Let's just be honest. Like, what are we doing? We get to the Super Bowl. We're going to go back. Nope, we never did again after Urlacher and company, right? How many years are we going to be, they were going to be rebuilding? No, that's not how football works. And you know it more than ever. Yes, you can be Kaplan and predict. All of us can predict, okay, they're only going to win 4 games, 7 games, whatever you think. At the end of the day, every time, that's a winnable game. That's a game you should have won that you lost. And you know how contagious and infectious winning is. So I don't sign up for that stuff. Justin played better than he did last week against the Texans, but still not good enough. And there it is in a nutshell.
Well, I want to talk to you about the Justin Fields thing. So, I mean, there was a knock before the draft that he came from Ohio State. Their offenses aren't that complex. I mean, are we looking at kind of what they talked about before the draft? Or, I mean, are you looking at kind of year 2 of still trying to learn a system, although it's new now. So it was his first year learning a new system again. I mean, is this going to be a constant thing?
So your question is twofold, right? You're asking if you're looking to the draft offense. What do you mean? Just
No. So in the past, last year, his first year, the knock with Ohio State quarterbacks is that the reason why they're not successful in the NFL is because the system has been easier for them in college. And so is that what we're looking at, or is Justin able to decipher a complex defense now, which I don't think he can, but now are they trying to make it easier are they trying to make the offensive scheme easier for him?
I don't think that's the thing. To your answer, I don't think he sees the field well. Obviously, my father and I have talked about it. Your former teammate, Eric Kramer, and I have talked about it. Eric is way harder than I am, even on Justin, saying he just can't read a defense whatsoever. He just doesn't see it. I mean, he's like, Phil, I don't know who's teaching and coaching. They spent so much time worrying about his footwork and throwing mechanics that you feel like you're throwing this kid off. There is nowhere to hide in regards to what it is you're saying. Think about this offensively. If you're touchdown to check down at Ohio State and you have an Olympic squad of football players running down the field, then you're hitting these guys. And that was my concern with Justin, was the tap, wind up, deliver. But to my dad's point, is like, he's getting the ball there accurately. You got to do what he does well. Okay. And it looks like the Bears are trying to say, this is what we want to do. And Matt Nagy did the same thing.
Right.
And that's what it's looking like right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are pointing out the Darnell Mooney. I see what Mike D's talking about here. I don't agree with Mike D at all. We don't come to the NFL to teach you to play quarterback. You should come into the NFL, learn the system. Yes, you got to learn the system, but I shouldn't have to teach you your throwing mechanics, how to hand off the ball, get under set. All of this stuff should be known, or you working on it diligently.
Right.
I'm not seeing it. And a goal of this team, if I was the GM or coach, my goal wouldn't be, okay, Justin Fields, no matter what. That's my tunnel vision. No, Justin, you better do it. We're going to work our butts off to have you do it. But if you ain't doing it, it's on to the next, because that's the league.
Right.
The Bear, imagine if the Arizona Cardinals were like, nope, Josh Rosen's our guy. We got to teach him. There'd be no what they have now. Right. They recognize these are the things. Justin's got to do what he's got to do to be the best. He's getting the reps. You're under center. You're working hard. He's saying he's working hard. But to your point, I think there's a lot of validity to it. I don't like the offensive coordinators' formational play calls. Like, everyone jokes with me about my last year's quotes. Curls. That's all he's running. I'm saying now you got to put some curls in there to loosen him up, get him under center. This isn't hard to do, and start running some slant go, let him have success. Now, he threw the ball down the field. You could see how accurate he was to Mooney. And I don't know, Chris. The quarterback position in Chicago has been one with which I shouldn't have to worry about a guy throwing in the NFL. Like, you should be able to throw a dart down the field, hit these guys accurately. But, it is what it is right now. The Bears have offensive line issues. They got coaching issues. They got receiver issues. So there's an argument to everybody's argument. So wait, the receivers aren't talented enough. We need a lot of that. I just think at the end of the day, you got to make the plays. Dante Pettis has to make that play for Justin there.
Right.
And your receivers got to run the routes. Justin can't fumble the ball out of his hand like Dave Craig. It just can't happen. These things always seem to happen to the Bears quarterback. Meanwhile, the guy up north, he's sitting there slinging the ball down. I don't care if he's here. He's got practice squad receivers. He's got my boy Romeo. And he's throwing touchdowns. That's what the Bears should be. Doesn't take – how long did it take Mahomes?
Right.
It took him 1 year sitting behind Alex Smith. Oh, I got it now. Well, no. That's the difference now in this game, especially with all these RPOs. Chris, there's an RPO in this game. Justin, don't even read it. He just gave it. If he pulls it, gets behind Kmet, he's going down the field. And the coach made reference to it today. We missed a few quarterback pulls if you listen to his commentary because it's there.
Pulls.
So I don't think anybody comes into the NFL from college and says, I know how to read every defense. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Nobody, everybody and their brother. Eric Kramer. I've talked to players. Kerry Collins. I had a good conversation with him. He's like, I thought I knew defense. And then I get to the NFL. And I learn. Okay, now we're putting in play. This is year 2 for Justin. New offense, schmoo offense. Same rules apply. Know the routes. If he doesn't know the routes, that's on the OC. Second week of the season, he did not know the routes. Get this pressure. There's your outlet. Boom. Hit it. Until he gets to that point, you're going to have the same struggles that you saw with Mitch Trubisky, you're seeing with him. And I will tell you this, and Steph Froylan seems to be my psychic brain. You cannot teach instinctive football decisions. You just have to have it. That's where this scouting and that's where this stuff is. And that's why I said, okay, guys, if he goes through the season and he struggles, you have to look at quarterback next year. You can't just say, oh, he's going to get it. Then you're the next guy out getting fired because he didn't get it. You always are worried about the team first. That's why you always have to be up front with it. People get all nervous. Like Justin writes his story, not me.
Right.
I don't write his story. If he's tremendous, I'm praising him.
Right.
And when I look at the all-22 tape, I'll see how great or bad he is. But right now, I'm just keeping it 100 like I always will. You tired of losing? Got to get better play, instinctive play from the quarterback. And what was the greatest attribute of Joe Montana? Anticipation accuracy. He didn't have a 60-yard bomb, 68-yard, 72-yard bomb like Testaverde. He probably threw it 50 yards at the most.
Maybe, yeah.
Toom. He's throwing it on a dime. And then in the game, I'm sure his adrenaline's thrown, and he's throwing 58, 60 yards in a game because his adrenaline's in it, but he's accurate. Those things can't be taught. They just can't. And Steph Froylan is on the point. I'm not seeing him. I mean, when you get in cover 2, safeties go back, linebackers are dropping. Right. This guy coming on an in cut, this guy's running off. I know that if he's running off, that safety's going deep, there's going to be a little hole there. Boom! Just throw it in there and trust it. I saw him do it in preseason once. I have not seen him do it again.
Ouch.
So here we are. Now we got to find out who Justin. And I ask Bears fans, just be honest. Your eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't like. Let go of this. It's like with me. If David Montgomery stunk, I'd be. I'm the one pointing out how great he is because the tape is showing me that.
Right.
Not, oh, David. You know. So that's where I am right here. And again, it's week 4, but it's got to be better than what he's been. And he'll be the first one to tell you, to his credit, he played like trash last week. This week it was better. So we'll see how he puts it together because you're going against a rival this weekend, the Vikings.
Sure.
We'll see what they do.
So what is the cap count?
The cap count, we're
David
2-2.
Okay.
David Cap says 4. We have the audio video.
So 4, where he drops $15,000 on a dinner for all of Chicago, right?
Yes. And Benjamin's right. Progression issues totally can be fixed. Instinctive issues are just what those are. Like Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, instinctive runners. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Jeff Garcia, instinctive passer. You want to watch a guy with a noodle arm? He's throwing instinctive ball. He understood the route, where it's going to be. He threw it way before the guy's going there. That's where you got to get Justin to. That's where we got to go. Warren Moon, amazing instinctive passer. Doug Flutie, instinctive passer. You have to be. Same with this kid. Why do I keep forgetting his name in Arizona? Yeah, I think he's like same height as me, for God's sake. What's his
Murray?
name? Yeah, Murray.
Kyler Murray?
Let's just watch this little runt play. He's so instinctive with his throw and understanding where they're going. Just boom, puts it way out, shallow cross. He doesn't throw it to the guy. He throws it over and lets the guy run to it. Murray is one of the most instinctive young passers you'll see. And he's not looking to run. That's his last resort. Big fan of what I've been seeing with Kyler Murray. Anyway. Bears run down there.
There we go. Thank you for my daily fix of my Bear information.
Your Monday.
My
fix.
Monday fix. Thank you. Wow. Jeffrey.
Number 47, Notre Dame.
Jeffrey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, we did not lose today. Wow, you lose 2 games and everybody's all over you.
Dude, what's it like over there?
It's interesting.
Is the mood exciting?
The guys are fired up, yes.
Okay, so they're ready to get back.
Yes. Okay. I have not talked to each individual guy, but yes, it looks like guys are ready to go. And they did a huge video promo for this game, so they better show up.
Well, they better show up is right. This is a big deal. There's no way he's 5'10". I would say he's like 5'9" at the most. 5'8".
After you just called him a runt. Okay, great.
Well, he is a runt. In the whole league, he's the shortest.
At 5'10". Okay.
He ain't 5'10".
He ain't 5'10"?
No way.
Okay.
I've called BS on 5'10". I'm telling you. I just praise this kid beyond anything. The fact that he's short, trust me, you and I know. You played in the NFL at a position at a time when short defensive linemen were as valuable as a freaking one of those carnival candies. What are those things? The carnival peanuts. Those things are the worst candy there is. They didn't want anyone short. That says a lot about you.
Yeah, that I was short. That I was
that you made it.
I was a runt. I was a runt.
You were a runt. Look at who was William Perry, Steve McMichael. Who else was with you on that defensive line? Carl Simpson.
Trace.
Simpson. Who was it? Who was the last one?
Trace Armstrong.
Oh, you're talking about DNs. I'm thinking just D tackles.
Oh, just D tackles. Okay.
McMichael, Fridge,
Carl Simpson. Dude named Tim Ryan. Played for
Tim Ryan.
Now he's an announcer.
Yeah, he does the 49ers.
Yes.
He's a good dude.
He is. A really good guy.
That was it? Those are the D linemen?
Tackles, yeah. I mean, there were some other guys.
There you go. Well, you were the shortest one, were you not?
That's true, I was. Yes.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm not sure I just admitted to you, but okay, thank you.
But you are, I mean, that says a lot at that time. You were able to play and penetrate and use, like they said, that leverage. I'm excited about defensive tackles like that, and you were able to do that, and we're good at it. Yeah, Russell Wilson is like 5'10", no doubt. And Kyler Murray is shorter than him. Just let you know. There's hope, guys. There
is hope for short quarterbacks and short defensive linemen in the NFL.
How tall was Doug Flutie?
I think he was like 5'10", right?
Yeah, 5'9". 5'9", he said. That's what he said.
Okay. All right.
And he had to go to Canada.
And then the Bears.
The Bears. Were you on the team with him?
I was not. No, I'm only 53. Thank you. I'm 53. Thank you very much. Not 60. Anyway.
Let's go.
I think we have
You ready to rock and roll?
I am. It was an exciting week for everyone. There may be a little controversy at the top, but let's talk about number 16.
Number 16. Wake Forest.
I could say welcome back to the poll. They were in the poll before, and as you know, they were actually the quarterback. Sam Hartman was kind of part of my my final thoughts a little bit because he actually just had an issue. What was it? It wasn't cancer, it was something else. But he was out for a while and actually came back, and he's thrown up some great numbers. They did okay against Clemson. They almost beat them, but they had a chance to beat Florida State. So, we are excited about that. That's why they're making a redo at number 16.
I mean, they did okay against Clemson. They went into overtime.
Well, right, but they didn't win. I mean,
that was a hard battle.
It was a hard. That's what I'm saying. They did okay. Well, they did great.
Okay.
They did awesome. Okay, they did awesome.
Wake Forest.
Right.
Give them a shot. What was the spread on that?
Our level of expectation for Wake Forest is high now. Remember?
No, I know.
All last year we were on the bandwagon. Right.
Last year they were undefeated for a long time.
Exactly.
So you could see this is going to be the next coach they're going to try to pillage out of there. Even though I think he signed a new deal last year.
He did, but there's some other coaches in our 16 that are definitely going to get a nod. Definitely.
There you go. Wake Forest, number 16, number 5. Oh, you have something else.
Oh, I don't. I'm talking about coaches. There are some openings, unfortunately, which we may talk about for a little bit, which is sad. But haven't looked at App State. Let me see what App State's doing, since everybody's how much we kind of love our App State folks now.
Yes.
I'm not sure what they're at, but I know they wound up losing to like Memphis the week after they blew out Texas A&M. So we may not hear from App State for a while.
App State was walking in Memphis.
Well, there we go. Hey. Love it. Okay, now we can go to 15.
Number 15, Baylor.
since you started to sing, I wanted to kind of
Home of Singletary.
There you go. You always say that's awesome. You always say that. So here it is, and we love us some Baylor, and it was interesting because it was Baylor, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, and they were in the thick of it, and it was interesting because those are some of the great games. I don't know if you saw any of those games, but they were actually great. It was like 9 versus 8, 8 versus 7, 7 versus 10. I mean, it was crazy.
I didn't get to see Baylor at all. I was with the kids. My daughter's birthday. She turned 18.
Nice. Uh-oh. That's a
and
big
my
one.
mom's birthday is today, but we celebrated it Saturday.
Okay.
And it was supposed to like pour here, but it didn't. So they canceled our football game.
Oh, wow.
That my parents were supposed to come to, and boom. That was the whole. And then we went and ended up going to dinner, and it was a freaking hour and 45-minute wait with kids.
Jesus. Where'd y'all go?
Texas Longhorn.
Okay.
Longhorn Steakhouse.
Right.
So me and my buddy are sitting in the hallway at the bar watching Penn State, Baylor.
Yep.
We were watching Oklahoma get blasted.
Yes.
While we were waiting for dinner.
Yes.
And I was trying to get them to turn to the Ole Miss Kentucky ending.
Yeah.
Then I had to put it on my phone.
Okay.
So I could see it.
We will be there in a minute, but they have West Virginia next, and we're excited because it was actually just a good game. I mean, it's hard to kind of, because we've been talking about Oklahoma State last year, this year. They're not getting any love. I think they're a good team. I think really no one kind of put them on the map until after they beat Notre Dame, and then all of a sudden they got some recognition. But one, they obviously haven't lost, but the idea that they're playing competitive football, again, it's in the Big 12 where they don't care about scoring, but they're able to come up with some good wins. So although we liked Baylor, they may be out considering what happens next week. So they're playing – oh, no, they have a bye next week, so they may be safe, but they're going to play West Virginia after that.
Baylor always has a high-powered offense. Their defense, you always have to worry about. But with a bye, they could stay at 15.
Uh-oh.
You never know.
Who knows?
Let's go to
Super Bowl show.
Let's go to number 14.
Number 14, Kentucky.
Again, another drop. These guys dropped 5 down to 14. We loved us some Kentucky. We talked about that. However, they went up against our guy Ole Miss, and this is kind of, I mean, it's crazy, right? Because they wound up losing 22-19, close score.
Great game.
It was a great. Thank you very much. It was actually a great game. The quarterback is now almost over 1,400 yards, which is impressive considering we're only talking about week 5. I'm excited to kind of keep tabs on them. Not sure how far they're going to go. They're going to play an okay South Carolina team, so I think they may do well.
Yeah, Kentucky, a lot of hype on the quarterback. I know there was like 9 scouts
Will
at
Lewis,
the game. Huh?
Will Lewis is the quarterback.
No, the quarterback from Kentucky. They were all.
That's
okay.
That's okay. That's all right.
I thought he had a different name. And the other kid, the other quarterback, Dart, who's the transfer from USC playing at Ole Miss.
Yes. Oh, that's.
I'm a big fan of him. Dart. The kid from Kentucky is impressive, like you said, over 1,400. Has the strip sack at the end of the game. Deadly. So, but keep an eye on this kid out of Kentucky as well as Ole Miss. I like the quarterback play at both.
Well, we aren't at Ole Miss yet.
I'm just saying they were playing in that game.
There's a
right?
script, damn it.
Where's the drop?
Wow.
It's not on the script.
Thank God.
It's not on the script.
On the script. It's on the script.
There it is. Let's go to number 13. Chris.
Let's do that.
Number 13, BYU.
So they make their debut.
Here it is.
Oh, you found it?
No, here BYU. They make their debut.
Yes, at 13.
Who do they play? Who did they play this week?
This week, they played Utah State.
No, who do
next
they play
week
coming up?
Next week, they're going to play Notre Dame.
There we go.
In the Shamrock Series.
Yes.
In
what
Vegas,
is this
baby.
Shamrock series? What is this?
So this is something that they created like 2009, where they just go around the country playing teams and literally set up house in a neutral site. So, for example, this was going to be BYU last year. Or excuse me, last year it was playing Wisconsin in Soldier Field. And so they actually have like a mass. They got a big community service thing they do. So like literally, it's almost like a bowl game where folks kind of get excited about it. It's kind of interesting though, because when you look at it, like it originally started off because they were trying to go to areas that they didn't recruit, right? Or they didn't have any opponents in. And
that
so now it's become to like this big splash. Now it's more of a media thing. They do like different helmets.
Are they going to go Catholics versus Mormons?
I'm sure there's several thousand T-shirts that will say that. They often do like a special uniform for this game, and I don't know if you saw that promo I was talking about earlier, but they actually did like a little parody on the whole what was it? Not honeymoon. So I ran to my tongue. Damn, I forgot. With I forgot who it was. Come on, Zach Galifianakis.
The Hangover.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hangover.
Right. So they want to do a little parody of that. Freaking hilarious. Who knew that those guys could actually act? But now they actually have to show up and play. And actually, BYU, they have a quarterback now, Hall, who's thrown up over 1,400 yards as well. This is somebody that they should be a little nervous about. Hopefully, the defensive line will have a chance to kind of show their stuff. This is going to be really interesting because they've been talking about the quarterback. That would be hilarious if what Benjamin says is true, because Notre Dame was wearing all white, which is with like gold accents. So that's going to be an interesting game. I myself am not a huge fan of playing this Shamrock Series game, although it's a great pub for the school. I don't necessarily like the uniforms, but we already talked about that. But the exciting thing is that Notre Dame will have a chance to redeem themselves from the Marshall game. You know, everybody's kind of counting them out. Let's remember, although they dropped out of the top 25, they only lost like one game to like a bad team, and that was Marshall. Everybody thinks they kind of lost other games, but they lost to Ohio State by 11 points and then got their butt kicked against Marshall, and then everybody thinks they lost like 12 games, but they haven't. So this is a redemption game for my Irish.
The Irish are hustling.
They need
through. They need this win. They need this win.
I'm sure we'll be calling or texting. I'll be calling or texting you about the awesome plays that will happen.
Now, who is going to be the starting quarterback for the Irish this weekend?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be what's his face?
Payne.
Yeah.
Now, can they play a little House of Pain to get them fired up?
I'm sure they will. That would be really cool.
Prediction.
Pain.
Pain.
Love
We
it.
can get that pain out there for them. The Irish, will they be wearing green?
Did you not hear? You were too busy texting.
I'm
when
trying
I was saying
to.
that they
I'm
were going
in the business. I'm doing
I
something
know.
for you.
You're in the business. As I was saying on our live show, they're going to be dressed in all white.
All white.
All white.
All white.
Right, exactly, with gold accents.
Gold accents.
Damn
Is
it.
it true?
Damn it. Pay attention. Pay attention.
I was stalling in the business.
Okay.
Because Russian Ronnie came in and saved the day.
Okay. There we go.
For number 12. There was no 12, Chris.
I didn't know that.
So that's what I was doing.
Well,
Cherie brought it to my attention.
We've done it before.
I texted Ron.
We can ad lib a 12.
And look, and Ron G stopped everything that he was doing to make sure 12.
He came back from the wedding? He came back from the wedding?
He's back. He's back from the wedding. He actually put down his knife and fork. He's letting his steak get cold.
Oh.
To fix this show and make it as great as he does. He does all the graphics.
Yes, he does. And Russian Ronnie is great, and that's the reason why we did not nickname him that. So.
He's always rushing. So it's Rushing Ronnie.
Rushing
He's
Ronnie.
the Walter Payton of producers.
There we go.
Rushing.
Did
you play with Neil Anderson?
I did not. I'm only 53. Come on, man.
Wait a second.
Neil no, I did. I played.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. I was thinking.
You're
like,
throwing all these old guys, man. It's like, come on.
Listen, I live for the history of these players. Neil Anderson, quiet guy, right?
Florida,
Laughed,
yes,
always smiled, or was he funny?
Great player. Great player.
Great player. Out of Florida.
Florida, there you go.
He was a senior when Emmett was a sophomore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Emmett backed up Neil.
Interesting.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's go to number 12 for Russian Ronnie.
Let's go.
Notre Dame, BYU this weekend.
Yes.
I'm excited about it.
On the Peacock and NBC.
Are you going to be on the sideline again?
I'm not going to be in a kilt on the sideline. It's in Vegas. And I'm going to be watching from my TV just as you will be.
We're definitely going to be texting.
Definitely.
All right. Let's go to number 12.
Number 12. Utah.
These guys are making their debut as well.
Debut.
Although it's kind of high. But here's the thing.
I get high.
Hey, there you go. Yep, I like it. They beat an okay Oregon State. It's just that
should be a drop, Cherie. Did you see him dancing?
Oh, come on.
Hey,
really?
I like it.
That's wrong, man.
You give me great material, man. What can I say? But they're moving up. They're moving up.
This quarterback, Cameron Rising, looks like just a redneck. He has a mullet. He has this goatee looking thing, and he's just balling, just absolutely balling. And so I kind of love that. So let's see, though. Let's
HL.
really see.
They must be playing Michigan or something.
We only do 16, so I don't know what you're talking about with number 25. I haven't even heard of that. Who has a top 25 rank?
Who's doing 25?
Exactly. We do 16 here.
We do 16.
The Super 16 Pool Show. We don't do 25. Who does 25? That's too many. All right. So they will be playing UCLA. A good UCLA team is actually undefeated. So it's interesting.
And listen, spoiler alert.
Please.
Chip Kelly. I don't see Chip Kelly in 16.
At 16, right? Because I think there are better teams. We can look and see who Chip Kelly plays.
UCLA.
Let's find out.
They blew somebody out this weekend.
Let's see who it was.
What was it? 44 to.
Was it?
I was kind of shocked. I was expecting UCLA to make their debut. Man up.
I'm on the wrong.
Man down. UCLA, the Bruins.
Right. I know, but I can't find them.
They play Utah on Saturday.
Right, but
They spanked Washington.
Is that who it was?
They spanked Bowling Green September 3rd.
Oh, right. Okay, fine.
UCLA.
But if you
wait.
doo-doo teams, then come on.
They beat Washington. That was ranked 21.
Oh, they were?
40-32. In another poll, they were ranked 20.
Oh,
another poll
that goes to 25, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that.
UCLA is undefeated right now, 5-0. I'll give you their wins,
please,
just in case you have haters. Okay, September 3rd, they opened up with Bowling Green. They spanked them 45-17.
Bowling Green? All right.
Then they played Alabama State, Chris.
Okay. All right.
45-7. They like 45.
And then Southern Alabama? What was that?
South Alabama, 32-31.
Okay.
Then they play Colorado. I see you in the backfield sticking Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy in the house.
45-17. They love this number 45. They scored it 3 times. And then they beat Washington 40-32. You're not a believer. 1, 2,
not
3,
yet.
4, 5-0.
Right. 5-0 against South Alabama.
Yes.
Okay.
Cheney State.
That's where James Williams went, actually. Big cat.
That's what I was testing you.
Oh, man. Hey, man, I know my HBCUs.
Look at you.
Man, my boys.
Look at you.
So, I mean, I'm just not impressed with them yet. Okay, let's see after this weekend. How about that?
This is a big game.
All right.
Right here.
Fair enough.
We know if they win, I can guarantee Chris is finding a place for 16.
Wow.
Anyway, UCLA not there. Utah is. Let's go to number 11.
Hello.
Number 11, Penn State.
Okay, these guys moved up 4 spots after just barely beating Northwestern, who's having an atrocious year. But here's the thing, I couldn't drop them, right? Because I feel like they're better than some of the other teams out there. And even though this wasn't a great performance from them, even though, they're actually ranked. They're actually pretty good, and we love the quarterback.
Yeah, I love the quarterback, man.
And then even at the top, man, there's a couple of them where they had to stay put, even though they actually won, which is kind of interesting. I've never had this problem before.
This is an interesting football team because they have all the makings to what you're saying. They got the quarterback. They got a double dose of good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
They got some good receivers. They got a good defense. So this is one of those teams that is like a nice wine. Gets better with age.
There you go.
As the season goes, we might see Penn State moving up. Who did they play this weekend?
Well, they actually have what is called a bye.
Oh, they're on a bye.
They're on a bye. And then they play
bye.
That team in Ann Arbor.
Oh,
snap.
That's must-see TV. Is that going to be a whiteout game, I hope?
It's actually going to be at Michigan.
Oh, there you go. This is the game that I don't. Well, we're a week away from that.
Thank you. Please save it.
Talk about
save
that.
it.
Save it. They're on a bye. 11.
Put it in
my calendar.
Right. Put it in your calendar.
Let's go to number 10
looking like.
10.
Number 10, Oregon.
Here we go. So now this is they're moving up. Now you may recall they were ranked high in the beginning of the year, but they actually played that juggernaut that we all know as Georgia.
Georgia.
and got spanked.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
So they went down, but actually they've actually been playing great ball since then. And super transfer Bo Nix, who went to like 5 schools from Auburn. Remember that story?
Bo Nix.
Yes.
Bo
He's still has
Nix.
some great yards. I mean, he has like 1,200 right now, but they beat at the time number 13 BYU. So it's going to be kind of interesting how these Ducks do. And that's actually maybe the second best team in the Pac-12. Maybe. I wonder who the first team is. How about we go to number 9?
Let's go to the SEC.
Number 9, Tennessee.
So these guys move up
Rocky Top.
after a
Rocky
bye.
Top,
How about that?
Tennessee. Listen, Tennessee to me
They're
is a
looking
story.
good, man. They're
a
looking
story.
good.
They are. They haven't looked this good in a long time since T. Martin.
Well, how about I forgot that Josh Heupel was a baller. I didn't realize he was a second in Heisman voting.
Yeah,
Forgot about
Oklahoma,
that.
right?
Yes, Oklahoma. He transferred, but yeah. How about
He's at
that?
Oklahoma.
I totally forgot about that.
I still see him. I thought he won the Heisman. That's how much I know.
That's okay.
There was a time where the Heisman kind of became
meant
come
something.
On, guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Danny Werfel's winning it.
So is that when you wanted to win it? It's like, I'm just saying. I mean, it's a big ass award. Like, Heisman.
They kept giving it to like guys that I felt like didn't deserve it. How about that?
Wow, really?
I'm serious,
man. That's a hard ass trophy to win.
Hell yeah, it is. But then it became a popularity thing. I think we got to go back and look at some of on one show. Heisman. Who should have won the Heisman?
Who should have won? Yes. Okay.
Let's
fair enough.
Look back.
Fair enough.
Did Baker Mayfield deserve the Heisman over?
Absolutely, he deserved the Heisman.
All right.
Just like Stetson Bennett's gonna. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. All right.
Tennessee though, they're on a bye.
Huh?
Who did Tennessee play?
They were on a bye.
I know they're all on a bye.
Right, but then they have, as Benjamin talked about, we got LSU coming up, and then we got Bama.
This is when we find out the truth.
Enjoy your top 9 ranking, Josh.
Oh, you don't believe?
Come on, man.
You don't believe in Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Take me to another place. Take me to another land.
Come on. It was.
Let me forget all. Let me understand your plan. Tennessee. Oh my God. I had it in my head just now. Music is coming on this show today. Arrested Development.
Thank you.
Our super producer.
Yes. Coming up with all the
I love the Arrested Development.
Thank you. Yes. That was a great album. I was about to say Digital Underground, which is definitely not.
That wasn't it. That was the Humpty Hump.
Yes.
Speaking of getting over some humps, let's go to number 8.
Number 8, USC.
Okay, now I know I'm going to get jacked up for this, but they actually dropped 2 spots after they beat Arizona State. Now, again, beating Arizona State, no coach. I mean, 42-25. You're supposed to win that game. Caleb threw for some crazy yards, throwing almost 50 yards. But here's the thing. Although, hey, he's on a Heisman watch, I had to drop them because we had some teams that actually played a little better opponents and also played better ball than USC did. And I'm a huge, huge fan of USC. But they're supposed to win these games. So I'm not going to give credit where credit is due when they're supposed to dominate a team that has no coach and that they've been balling against in the past. But I don't want to drop them anymore. But, literally, there's no room at the top at this point.
I hear you. And they struggled the week before. They didn't play their brand
Right.
that I was hoping to see. And then this past week, they played a heck of a lot better.
But I mean, it didn't have a coach. I mean, it's kind of like you said,
Right.
So I had to drop them a little bit because I mean, our number 7 actually played a worthy opponent, and I think they're balling, and we're fans of them. You want to shoot the number 7?
Let's go.
Number 7, Oklahoma State.
Now, again, these guys stayed now at 7, but they actually beat our number 10 Baylor team, which we loved. And I think it's going to be an interesting year for at least this team in the Big 12 because I don't know if you remember last year, it came down to that one play for the championship. It was between Baylor and Oklahoma State. So, I mean, this is great football. I mean, I'm excited watching this. And that's why I think like all these teams are kind of like really equal when you look at them.
We love the USC Trojans.
I love them, but I can't compare Oklahoma State beating Baylor to
USC beating
Arizona State with no coach. You know, I mean, like
with all that controversy there.
I mean, they're supposed now if they lost, oh my God, yes, I mean they'd be gone, right? But you're supposed to beat teams that have adversity in their back pocket. You know, unfortunately.
Yeah, you have to. And USC has looked great. Oklahoma State, though, is looking great.
Which no one gives a lot of credit to. So that's why Okie State stayed there and USC dropped 2, which is interesting because I've never had to do that before. But this is the TTNL network. And as we say, the tape
never lies.
The tape never lies.
Tape never lies.
What does it say about?
I got to just jump off 1 second while I press number 6. I got to tell my daughter.
Yes.
She's got to go pick up her sister.
That's important.
Yes, that's why she can't get a hold of her. So I'm gonna press number 6, and I'll be right back. I'll let Chris handle 6.
Love it.
Number 6, Ole Miss.
Okay, folks. Now this is the team we're talking about with Dart. He's throwing up some great numbers. He had over 200 yards this game, and we like our Ole Miss team because it's Lane Kiffin and everybody thinks he's a nut, but they wound up moving up 2 spots. They beat a really good Kentucky team. Again, it was only 22-19, but these are teams that are beating good teams. So if we go back to, and I think it was Benjamin, I'm not sure who it was, talked about USC, they're supposed to be beating Arizona State anyway. But when you have teams like Ole Miss and Oklahoma State, Baylor, Kentucky, I mean, these are teams that are neck and neck. They're in good conferences. Yep. So you expect a really good game. So the fact that we were excited to watch, I mean, that was one of my top 5 games was to watch. I didn't know who was going to win, but watch Ole Miss beat Kentucky 22-19.
I was watching game day that morning, and I was surprised that a lot of people picked Kentucky. I felt like I felt like Ole Miss, the running game in Ole Miss.
I get a little fired up, man.
I know. We've been talking. That's on our bucket list to get to a game at Ole Miss.
Yes, sir.
The crowd was amped up. I guess Lane was fired up that there weren't more people. Did you hear that?
He made a comment about that. Yeah.
I totally love that because I could see me saying the same thing. How could you all not show up for us?
Well, and then you're talking about a top 10 team.
I know.
I mean, it's not like this happens every Wednesday. It's like, oh, all of a sudden we're going to be like Alabama. It's like, oh, well, we're just going to stay in the top 10 all year. I mean, come on, it might not happen.
Ole Miss. I'm excited about Ole Miss. Again, I love the kid Dart.
Mm-hmm.
Transfer from Mules team USC, going over to
I thought it
Ole
was
Miss.
Foster.
No,
No,
that was me.
Okay.
I tried.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was you. I forgot. Yeah, it was you. Sorry.
I was too short to play quarterback.
Yeah. Well, you're a runt. That's why.
If I was a 6-foot runt, I think I could have played quarterback.
I don't know. Maybe is that what's
Murray's
jersey in the background?
Murray's height?
No, is that
Oh, that's my jersey
in the background.
That's my high school jersey.
Oh, I thought that was Emmett Smith's jersey from Florida. Okay.
It's Neil Anderson's jersey.
There you go.
You know, Walter Payton wore 22 in college.
I did not know that. Is that why you wore 22 in high school?
No.
Why did you
I wanted to wear number 34.
Okay.
And the senior had it. I had worn 22 because the same thing happened in the Pop Warner League. I wanted to wear 34. And my dad's like, well, why don't you wear your own choice? Wear your own number. I was like, okay, I'll wear 22.
Nice.
The double deuces.
Nice.
And it really was inspired by Doug Flutie, to be honest, because I was so short.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. See how all the good stuff comes out.
Yes, it's college football.
Show. There you go.
I lived watching college football. Saturdays with my dad was like, well, I would go outside. I don't know about you.
And then play college football.
Yeah, play the college football, tackling people into the trees and shit.
In the street, yeah.
But then you're tired. You come back in, and the second half is about, and that's when everything's getting golden. I could still see it.
Memories. I love it.
Oh, my God. The smell of the
yes,
fall.
We actually talked about that last week, I think.
Yeah.
What about number 5? People are going to be upset.
Let's go, baby. Sharice, shake
Number 5, Michigan.
All right, folks. This is a tough one. This was exactly.
How am I 5?
See? So last week Michigan was 4, but let's take a look why. They beat Colorado State. They beat Hawaii. They beat UConn.
UConn, baby.
They beat Maryland.
Maryland.
And they beat
Maryland was tough.
And they beat
Iowa.
Almost lost to Maryland.
Listen, they have gone to Iowa, and they did a good job on the broadcast. I was able to watch this game.
Okay. Talk
to me.
And
they showed how many times they've gone to Iowa and had letdowns.
Yes.
And it's been a lot. So to get over those, listen, the Bears can't win at Lambeau, it seems, right? We can't beat the Packers at all, basically, now. So it was important for them to get over that mental hurdle. Although they did let Iowa score late, which made it look closer. I didn't like that.
So here's my reasoning.
Yes.
Right? Number 5 last week was Clemson. Who's number 5? Who's number 4 this week?
Let's see.
Number 4, Clemson.
So it was a switcheroo.
Switcheroony.
And the reason why was because let's take a look at the teams that Clemson beat. Georgia Tech, conference. Furman, non-conference. Louisiana Tech, non-conference.
Non-conference.
Wake Forest, ranked in another poll, conference.
Okay.
UNC, I'm sorry, North Carolina, who we liked.
Yep.
They beat them. So you got back-to-back 2 ranked teams.
Okay.
That's my reason. Back-to-back, overtime with Wake Forest. We talked about, you and I talked about 2 overtimes.
Yep.
They beat a good NCT. Okay, so thank you.
I get it. I honestly get where you're coming from.
So that is why.
I actually have
It was
to
hard.
agree with Chris here.
It was hard.
Based on the competition's layout, Clemson has had a tougher road as far as opponents. So you got to go with the tape.
Because
The tape never lies, Chris.
hello.
Hey.
There we go.
Super 16 poll show with Chris Sora. Our producer's quitting.
There we
She's
go.
quitting in the middle of the show.
Such a diehard Michigan fan. She's out. I'm out. She's going to drop the mic. She's going to drop the producer.
4 or 5. Come on.
She's done.
It's only one spot, Cherie. Can I talk you back into it?
There you go.
There, she's back.
But now here's the thing, though. How are they going to play against Indiana? And now, am I nervous for Ohio State? I'm talking about Michigan now.
Yeah.
Have I all of a sudden become nervous, which I wasn't before, about the Ohio State game now?
You mean Michigan, Ohio State?
Correct. Because
that's weeks off.
Well, I know.
What do you mean for them to both be undefeated? To both be undefeated? What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, there's a couple of hurdles that Michigan has to come through, and before I was fine with it, but I mean, you have to blow teams out because that other team in the other division,
Ohio State.
Oh, they're blowing teams out.
Well, who have they played?
Oh,
let's look at what they've beaten.
See.
Let me look at their football program.
Let's see who they played.
Rutgers.
Notre Dame.
Was there a fight after Rutgers? Arkansas State. That's a tough one.
It is.
Notre Dame ranked 47 in our poll.
Ranked 47.
That's a tough one.
Yes, it is.
Toledo. Look out for the Toledo Horned Frogs. No, what is the Toledo? Rockets.
Toledo Rockets.
Wisconsin.
The Badgers.
Who got smashed by Illinois.
Illini.
The Illini.
Yes.
Holy shit. So there you go. Hey.
But
there's an argument to be made there, Chris.
We are getting ahead of ourselves. But looking at it now I'm just nervous against Indiana now. I mean,
I'm worried about Michigan beating Indiana.
I am. By a score that is going to be respectable. Right?
So let me ask you this. If Michigan beats Indiana 35-21, is that respectable?
No.
No?
No. Indiana lost to Nebraska.
Oh, boy.
Huh? They lost to Cincinnati. Huh?
I like how you said no.
They beat Western Kentucky and
no.
I'm just looking at this because I have it up here, thank God. And they beat Idaho. So
okay. So
Nebraska has no head coach.
Michigan should go into Indiana and beat them what? 42-0.
Well, I mean, obviously that would be nice, but I mean, I'm looking for some domination.
All
because
let's see what they do.
It's like, okay, all right. That will be
Richard Gordon's like, so we got to win 54-0.
Well, I mean, that'd be nice.
Listen.
Considering Ohio State put up 52 on Wisconsin, but that's a whole different story.
Well, Wisconsin is
terrible.
I don't know where they are.
Well, I can't believe the coach got fired, but that's a conversation.
Oh my God, dude.
All right, so are we at number 3? Because I want to save some time to talk about this.
Number 3, Alabama.
Here we go now. Now Alabama's going to stay at number 3 because they beat a 13 Arkansas, and that game was actually kind of exciting. I actually kind of liked it.
Oh my God. That was the game I was trying to talk the bartender. Like, can you put on the Alabama game?
You're like,
I
huh?
had to
What? Huh?
I had to use one of those forbidden apps so I can get the game
Uh-oh.
because it's on your local channel. You can't
Right.
get it.
Right.
CBS is so odd with their streaming. It
Yeah.
drives me insane.
Yeah.
So I found it
I've been
and
trying
was
to watch
able to,
a couple of those.
yeah,
But so
CBS.
again, now we. Oh, I'm sorry.
So Alabama,
I want to talk about Clemson one more time because everybody's hating on DJ U that everybody kind of hated.
yes, myself included.
Threw up over 200 yards, kicking ass. Now, can you admit that now?
He looked so much more confident
There you go.
as a football player.
Over 1,200 yards. We're only in week 5.
How about the kid Shipley? That's a good football player. Number
the
one.
running back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Taking that flare route.
Yes.
Oof.
See, man, we're on the same page with some of the stuff. Anyway, okay, so we can bounce back to Alabama. I'm a little kind of upset, even though we saw what can happen. Bryce Young did not return after the first half.
That scares
and they
me
rolled
now.
anyway.
It scares me with that kid. I want to see him healthy.
Yes. Apparently, he said that he might not play. He's not sure. I think he said it's day to day.
Yeah, day to day. So Alabama, who do they have?
Ooh, they got
Again.
A&M. Are you kidding me? Who do they have?
This is the rivalry.
Bro, this is going to be
Saturday night.
All the shit talking. This is going to be like.
And Bryce not being in the game, there's a written excuse for Nick.
Well,
he won't use it though.
Let's just see if he is out. But here's the thing, now, all that shit that Jimbo was talking.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now I know Nick started it, but for him to kind of go off on Nick like that.
Tell you, his sons weren't on the field with their gold chains this weekend. Mississippi State all up in.
How about
Texas
that?
A&M. Wow. Man. I was looking at the score. I'm like, what the?
See?
Mississippi State.
And they have the number one team that ever existed in college athletics recruiting.
Yeah, exactly.
They got like 35 5-stars.
They're like a galaxy. They have so many stars. It's like
I like that one.
Oh, they're Andor over here.
Uh-oh.
Have you started watching this yet?
I have. You haven't? Come on, man.
I like the build-up. I like to let a few apps.
There's like 5 shows now.
There's
already.
5 in the box.
I think
that's when I start. Yeah, then I start. Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
So you started that then too?
I'm watching that religiously again. Matter of fact, I went back and started to read the books from the beginning.
Really? You're reading books. Look at you.
That's my.
Where do you find time to read?
This, man, you got to find time for Game of Thrones, man.
Dang, you're a big Game of Thrones.
It is just, it's special, man.
Let me call my guy. Maybe I can get Snow on the show with us.
There you go.
Jack. This is John Snow, right?
Jack Snow. Who hold on, man. That's
John Snow.
Show, man. That's the wrong name, man. Go. I mean, it's
anyway, I'm distracting you.
No, that's fine. I'm just so excited about it that I started reading it when the new series started, because that's like literally this series is supposedly. I mean, he wrote a book on it, and apparently Phil does know Kid Harington.
I know someone who knows him. So
there you go.
I'll ask him if I can get. You're a big fan.
Someone. And so this theoretically, this is just kind of hearsay. This whole series that we're seeing. So
is the series up to snuff? It's good.
It's phenomenal. It is the way
how many
Game of Thrones were. We're on episode 7 now.
Episode 7. I got to catch up on that one too. So
And I think
those are
there's only
two
going to
shows.
be 10. I think there's only going to be 10 episodes or 12.
And
Something
this
like
is the House of the Dragons,
Correct.
right?
Right.
So this is her story backwards.
Well,
her
eventually,
family's.
Yeah, right. Her family.
She had a twin brother, right? That was her twin early in the show.
Twin, but okay, you're just jacking this all up. So
I could, Chris, my one real quick. I loved Game of Thrones. I watched it every weekend religiously, me and my wife. But the one issue I had was I needed a roadmap to figure out all these.
There's a lot of people going on.
I'm like, I just couldn't. Like when people throw out names.
So much better. Reading the book is so much better.
Oh, do you know Dickendor and whatever the hell?
First of all, Dickendor, that's probably like some Hobbit.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly. That's some Harry Potter. This is
real
fantasy. This is dragons. You got people killing people. You got people slicing eyes out. This is the real stuff.
Anyway, that was my struggle with it.
Stick walking around with like
I gotta keep up with all the football names, let alone Game of Thrones names.
Living underneath a staircase and shit.
Stark.
There you go. See?
There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right.
But we've all seen that. And again, it's so great kind of going back to reading them because you forget a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how great Ned Stark was throughout the whole kind of the whole series, matter of fact. I mean, even though he died in the first series, I'm sorry, the first season. I mean, you just kind of see kind of the rippling effect that he had on everybody. And John, I mean, he just knew John was special in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But anyway, I'm sorry.
My favorite thing, real quick, before we let it go, was the many-faced God. I thought that was the coolest. I want a little backstory to that.
Yeah.
I hope
and it's interesting because a lot of people didn't like that.
I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she goes in there and there's all those faces everywhere and he could disguise them. And I'm like, I want to know what's this guy's. It was so cool. So cool. But anyway.
All right.
I digress. Speaking of gods.
There you go.
Gods of the SEC get taken down for some reason.
Number 2, Georgia.
Again, folks think I'm crazy.
Uh-oh.
But I'm crazy excited. I'm just crazy excited because did we see maybe that they might not be gods? Did we see like a team that actually may be beatable? Did we see
that? I was in shock here. I was getting nervous.
Everybody was.
That was
getting tight.
That was a street fight. Dude, the safety from Missouri coming up, throwing his whole effort and body into the McIntosh.
Come on.
And McIntosh just folds him. Just tells me everything I need to know about McIntosh is a filthy animal at running back. But that safety is fearless.
Why not?
Number 1. But yeah, those guys, Missouri came to play. They were trying to pull that upset.
And
I was wondering if you were going to knock them down, and you did.
Yes, and why is that?
Because they didn't blow out Missouri.
No, because the tape, man, come on. I thought you liked these softballs, man.
Well, I was given the reality.
Okay.
But yeah, the tape didn't lie.
There you go. Right.
Missouri stepped up and gave Georgia problems.
And Missouri's ranked, they're ranked nothing. So, I mean, come on.
They were 2-2 at the time.
There you go. And who did they beat? Let's see who they beat. Sorry.
Let's go,
Missouri
football.
I'm sorry. They lost to, well, okay. Actually, not that bad.
They beat La Tech.
Right. They lost to Auburn and Kansas State. So
Kansas State, I mean,
they're on a roll.
Are they going to get some love from Zoe?
It depends. It depends if they get any love from the 16 poll show, even though they beat Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
But they lost to Tulane. You're
Yes,
killing
they
me, right?
did.
So that's the kicker,
Yes,
right?
that is. How do you
That'd be
lose
like
to
Notre Dame losing
Tulane?
to Marshall. How does that happen?
Tulane.
Tulane, baby. Tulane.
Mooney and Forte.
There you go. Uh-oh.
Georgia, though, Stetson helps pull them out of this rut, making plays when he need to make them.
312 yards. He might be my. I mean, he might be my front runner.
I think I got to get you a Stetson jersey.
Please do, because I mean, I am a huge underdog fan, giving everybody the finger that wanted him to sit down, transfer, get the hell out of there. He's showing everybody he belongs.
Love lifters up where he belongs.
Jeepers creepers.
I know, Brett.
Keepers love it.
I know.
All
Georgia,
right.
number 2. I never thought I'd see it, but
How about
here
that? See,
it is.
we don't play
Eight
around
never
here in the
lied.
Super 16. We don't play around. You
No,
gotta
we
show up
don't.
to play.
Accountability is key here.
Hello.
Zorich ain't afraid to call him out.
Hello.
You ready for number 1?
Who is number 1?
Number 1, Ohio State.
Cherie's face is like, I
Everybody's
hate
hating on me
these.
now. Everybody's hating on me now. How could you not? How could you not? After they just been dominating. Come on.
Dot the I.
For, oh Lord, yes. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. So if you can't have Georgia, here's the thing.
It's like a double smack.
Right.
It's a Michigan fan.
Right. Oh, of course.
It's like
Let's see
Raisin
here.
Bran. 2 scoops of raisins.
scoops.
2 scoops.
See, you have a team that should be just dominating on Mizzou, but didn't happen. And so what do we just say? Oh, well, okay, it's a bad game, and they shouldn't be held accountable. I mean, if you're the number 1 team in the country, you're the number 1 team in the country for a reason, and that reason is you're dominating folks, right?
Norwich is moving them down.
We saw what happened with Alabama and Texas, right? Texas unranked. They freaking almost lose to Texas. What happens to them? Alabama gets knocked down. So do I have a right to say, hey, what about Georgia? And
Georgia.
if they have a little fault, should they not be knocked down? And I think they should when you got a team like Ohio State, who doesn't flinch, and they're throwing up 49 points on Rutgers. So,
And there was almost wasn't there a fight at the end?
it was, I forgot what it was, but I know
The head coaches.
Right. Well, it wasn't at the end. I think
And
it
he
was.
gave him the Italian.
Well, no, they actually hugged it out at the end.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they actually did.
Okay. I didn't see that part.
Yes.
I saw the highlight where the Italian, don't be messing around here. The Sopranos. Were you a fan of the Sopranos?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm joking. I have.
Oh, you love it.
Yes.
If you had a Game of Thrones or
right.
Sopranos?
Ooh,
Game of Thrones or
Lord,
Sopranos?
That's a hard one. That's
That's
hard
what
one.
she said.
Oh,
Hey.
hey.
Hey, I'm talking to you. Don't come onto my field.
See, here's how I can say this.
Yes.
If not for Sopranos, there wouldn't be a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I say that because with Sopranos, like, this is the first time we cheered for like the bad guy, right? This is the first time
So creative.
people had we were cheering for people who had like huge faults, like killing people in cold blood, right? I mean, this is stuff that we hadn't seen before, and so it showed us kind of compassion for Tony and his crazy life that he had to go see a shrink. And so you look at movies like Game of Thrones and you see there's more depth in characters now, and I think it was because of Game of Thrones. So although I love them both,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Sopranos. Although I love them both, if not for Sopranos, there would not be a Game of Thrones. And just to let you know, I actually have a Bada Bing license plate on my car. So
Look at you.
I'm a huge.
Can't wait to get you out here
And if
to New Haven.
If it wouldn't be so nerdy, I might have something else. I might have some Game of Thrones stuff on my car, but that's a little too nerdy. At least with Sopranos, you'd be like, oh, okay, hey, it's a strip club. Okay, hey, cool.
Hey, how you doing?
With Game of Thrones, like, you read those thick-ass books? You're a nerd, so.
Hey, there's nothing. We have nerds. Nothing wrong with nerds.
It's on the script. It's in the book. It's in the book.
Hey, but you know what that time is. Let me read down the top 16 for Chris Zorich. And
there's a number 12
16.
There's a number 12 in there too.
Hey, Russian Ronnie rushed away from his steak. Got Utah up there. Let's go. 16, the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. Number 15, the Baylor Bears.
Love it.
Kentucky Wildcats. BYU Cougars, correct? Utah, the Utes. Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Oregon Ducks. Tennessee Volunteers. The Trojans of USC.
Love it.
Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Ole Miss Rebels, Chris. Michigan Wolverines at 5. 4, the Clemson Tigers. 3, the Crimson Tide. Roll Tide. 2, the Georgia Bulldogs. And number 1 on the Super 16 poll show. Ohio State Buckeyes. There you go. And that brings us to this. Hey.
So, first one, Alabama, Texas A&M.
There you go.
That's got to be on everybody's list because we all know all the shit talking that they've been doing. And I'm trying to find a way to see if Georgia can kind of come back and regain that title. So I have Georgia Auburn, and then I have Ohio State at Michigan State because I want to see if this is for real.
Mel Tucker's
to see what happens.
Team isn't been playing very well. Chris.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But are they real? I love it. And want to see some Tennessee LSU. And
that's number what? 2?
That's
Tennessee
number 4.
LSU.
How you doing? I'm Chris.
Number 4.
Yes.
So
you're going. I have a show that goes on here while you.
I'm thinking you're counting it down to number 1.
Oh no!
Best game to watch.
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Well, my best one was the Alabama game. I think that's
the one.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I
really,
even though they're not right.
Only that's like you got to watch Tyson versus whoever because.
Well, it's just there's a lot of shit talking, and I think it's gonna be a low scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Alabama's gonna come out on top. But want to see what Jimbo can do. Can he bounce back? Because he's shitting bricks this week.
Imagine he
beat Alabama last week. Kidding me, dude? He's going nuts.
He got spanked by Mississippi State. If Alabama comes in there with their backup cornerback and bashes him, he ain't gonna be talking much smack.
He's gonna leave. And my final game is number 13 BYU.
There it is.
To see if they can do anything against Notre Dame.
Number 47, Notre Dame.
That's a good one. That was a good one. Number 47, Notre Dame.
Number 47, Notre Dame. Could they pull the upset?
Can they pull the upset? This is going to be exciting. Exciting.
Rob is checking in late. We did discuss this. and he's discussing it now. This is in your top 5 games to watch every week. Chris breaks down his Super 16 teams in the land. And that's brought to you by the National Football Foundation and the Football Writers Association of America. Chris Zorich's Super 16 Poll Show. Then Chris gives you his top 5 games to watch. And we are working on Deep Thoughts.
Deep Thoughts
with Chris Zorich.
I need that mirror thing.
I need my boy Ivan. I see him in the chat. He was talking about real quick. He was wondering if you were watching the Lord of the Rings show that now is being offered on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes, I am. However, I'm not that much into Lord of the Rings. So
Okay.
I'm learning, and I know this takes place a couple thousand years or a couple hundred years beforehand, but
Gotta read the books. Read the books.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get into the Hobbit and stuff like that.
No, that's beyond. That's the marker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I can see you coming into Comic-Con. Right there. A leather, snow, house of snow.
Leather, yeah, sure.
I could see you coming in on there. Game of Thrones outfit. Would you ever go to a Comic-Con?
I used to collect comic books as a kid.
Yeah?
I've been to hundreds of Comic-Cons. However, never did the cosplay thing though. So sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
That's okay.
I just wanted to know. Dragons good, Hobbits no.
Exactly.
Says producer Cherie. I like them both. I like it all. Actually, I've been watching on Paramount Plus Twilight Zone, which Peele.
Like back in the day?
No, the new one. Peele.
Okay.
What's his name?
Jordan
Peele. Yeah. He's producing that. And it's really well done, man. I got to give it a...
Speaking about Jordan Peele, did you see Nope?
I want to see it, man.
It's actually pretty good. I like it.
I heard it was really good, and it's right up my alley.
There you go. Wow, okay. So that was a perfect spot for that.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
So you ran that like 6 times already. Okay, great.
It's my favorite drop.
Apparently it is. Thank you.
It really is.
For being...
All right.
Yes.
We need some music for Chris Zorich's Deep Thoughts with Chris Zorich.
This is actually going to be a tough one because I don't know if you had a chance to see any of the game day.
A little bit of it.
Did you see the thing that they did on Ryan Brazzi and his sister?
Yeah.
No, it was tough, man. It was tough. And it was so... I just want to talk about it because it's great that you have teams that are playing against each other that still respect their opponents, right? So I don't know if you had a chance to see, but Louisiana Tech, where they played and beat, they sent over kind of handwritten notes from their team. And it was great because we saw kind of another side of Dabo.
Right.
He was actually like the MC of like this cancer event. He's out there with his pink jacket, pink hat, just doing it upright. And kind of seeing what these coaches can do beyond the X's and O's, right? And she just had an amazing family, amazing brother, and she wanted to be part of the Players Walk, but unfortunately she wasn't feeling well, so they had to take her back home. And so he wound up doing it himself, but instead of by himself, they wound up getting shirts made that said Ella Strong. So you got the whole team kind of with them. I mean, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
And then, unfortunately, she wound up passing away. And you just kind of saw where, and it was so kind of unscripted. They were interviewing the kid, and Dabo was coming up to kind of give him a hug, and the kid was like, man, if it wasn't for people like him, You know, he's been a great, and it wasn't like, Dad was like, hey, yeah, that's my guy. He just came in, kind of gave him a hug, and they kind of gave him a kiss on the cheek and just walked away, And you can just tell that was a real moment.
Right.
And how supportive a team like that can be in that situation. And I'm sure there's a lot of things going on at a whole bunch of different other schools. But when you're able to kind of publicize that and show that, then there's kind of this human side to the football program that we're seeing. And I think it's amazing when we're able to kind of see that, because it helps people see the men behind these helmets, or even the coaches. And I'm not sure how many coaches would react in a situation like that. And so supporting this kid, supporting his family was really great. They had him there. And it was so funny because, well, not funny, but it was so kind of touching when they came back after they did the little spot at game day. I mean, you had thousands of people there at Clemson, and you could hear like a pin drop. I mean, it was just silent, which is just amazing, man. And there were guys in the audience, man, wiping their eyes and stuff like that, man. It was just an amazing story. And they had the family there, and they honored the family and stuff. But, imagine your kid's sister going through that, and then, her passing away, and you still have enough courage to go out there and play it, man. It's just an amazing situation.
Well said. The human condition, empathy, so many things exactly are bigger than the game.
Very true.
When you combine the two, when you mix them together, it becomes even more powerful. And the power of positivity and unity and teamwork, togetherness, just knowing that, hey, we got your back. You're not going to go through this alone, is something more powerful than I don't know if many people have played sports or coached or whatever, have not been able to experience that. Myself and Chris have, and I could tell you it's a hell of a lot more powerful. May she rest in peace. 15 years old. It's not a long time to live on this planet, so it's very, very touching, very moving. I'm glad you brought it up here. College football, embracing everything about it.
That's
what we do. Every week we do it live here on the Super 16 show with Chris Zorich. Yes, thank you, HL. My mom is 82.
Wow, that's awesome.
Today's her birthday.
That's awesome.
And I'm ending the show, and I'm going to call her.
As you should.
And I told her I would call her after the show.
As you should.
Exactly. Hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
But yes, next week we'll be back here. Big games. Chris gave you the 5. Will Michigan handle Indiana? That's going to be a story. All of it. Tennessee. Take me to another place. Georgia dropping. Ohio State moving up. College football.
Pissing a lot of people off.
Crisp fall nights are on the way here. Monday nights, me and Chris will be live covering college football like nobody else in a creative, fun way. We always talk everything. Tonight we got into Game of Thrones.
Hey.
And
the Sopranos.
Sopranos. You gave a little history of that. And you're right. That opened the door. I think it was The Wire and Sopranos that opened the door for all
everything. Absolutely.
These longer telling of a story.
Sure.
Movies are getting to the point where I'd rather watch a show and get
You're right.
fully wrapped
I
into
agree
it.
1,000% about it. And that's why I don't watch like regular TV anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like shows that are on like hour shows. I mean, I gotta like see character development. Right. I gotta see everything, as opposed to like a story being summed up in like 40 minutes. There's
sometimes I want that, wrap it up. I want to get through that, but then just like I'm telling you, I'm letting Andor build up to 5. And now Game of Thrones, I'm going to watch that and watch through it. Try to understand all the names of every character. That was the only complaint I ever had. I love Game of Thrones. I still put Sopranos over it. That's my opinion. We'll be back, though, next week. Can't wait. Tomorrow night, we got Keeping It Fantasy on the Tape Never Lies Network with the guys getting you ready for your fantasy rosters, who you going to start, who you going to sit, all that kind of stuff. And then on Wednesday night, Keeping It 100 is going to be early. Okay. Instead of 8:30, we're going to start like now at 8, like this show. And we got the great Jarrett Payton, Walter Payton's son.
That's awesome. Tell him I said hey.
I'm going to tell him you said hey.
Good dude.
Is he a good dude?
He is a good dude.
Is there anything I should ask him or anything? Or no?
We're good.
Just say hello.
Good dude. Yes, sir.
Hi good from dude. Chris, the runt.
The runt.
I love it. We'll be back next week for Chris Zorich and our producer, Lady Bear, in the background. This has been a great show. The Super 16
show.
Perfectly said. As always, the guy is the man. He's Chris Zorich, 3-time All-American. CBS. They might have to update their streaming, but they certainly didn't have to update their Defensive Player of the Year. I'll tell you that. Chris Zorich, National Championship and College Football Hall of Famer here on the Tape Never Lies Network, Super 16 Pulse Show every Monday night. Thanks for watching the Super 16 Pulse Show with Chris Zorich. Like, subscribe, and comment. This has been a special presentation of the Tape Never Lies Network. Performance